Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the tariff rate on the European Union could change if the bloc doesn't abide by the agreement, though he added he would be surprised if they didn't uphold their end of the bargain. President Trump striking that historic deal with the EU over the weekend, which includes a 15% tariff on EU exports, while the bloc is pledging to buy $750 billion of U.S. energy products and invest $600 billion into the U.S. President Trump also posting this on Truth Social just moments ago. The August 1st deadline is the August 1st deadline. It stands strong and will not be extended. A big day for America, says the president. Joining me now, European Union Ambassador to the United States, Jovita Neliupšienė, Ambassador, good morning. You say that this agreement, this historic agreement that has been signed over the weekend, brings market stability. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, first of all, we have the major trade. We are the major trading partners. We trade 1.7 trillion a year, which makes 4.5 billion a day. So we are the major trading partners for each other. To have a stable, predictable, and clear pathway of our trade relations is extremely important. And I can tell you, I was hearing from business alike here in the United States, but as well on the other side of the Atlantic, on the European business side, that this is their predictability is the key element, and certainty definitely for them. So I do believe that although political deal was signed over the last weekend, that we will have a joint statement which will serve as actually the framework for them to continue working together.
And that'll be something that both parties will do together, I'm assuming. I want to ask you about this report from Politico, because they claim that the EU cannot guarantee that promised $600 billion investment into the U.S. Here's what they wrote. The cash would come entirely from private sector investment, over which Brussels has no authority. Two EU officials did say this, according to Politico. However, the first official said the $600 billion figure was based on detailed discussions with different business associations and companies in order to see what their investment intentions are. Now, the White House dismissed this Politico story. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt telling Fox, quote, President Trump appreciates President von der Leyen's efforts to reach this deal and fully trusts and expects the EU will live up to their bold new commitments. Ambassador, I want to get your reaction to this. Is there a risk that the private investment of the $600 billion would not come to fruition simply because at this point there's no time frame that's been published that we know of?
Well, as I mentioned, right now our negotiators, our team, are finalizing their joint statement, which will outline more or less the framework of what was agreed politically already. So I'm sure we will see some of the remaining details we don't know yet. But look, EU is the major investor in the United States. We have already invested 5.4 approximately trillion over the years. Our investments are at least 100 billion a year without major of incentives, at least 100 billion a year without major incentives. So, to reach the point where our car industry, which actually really went public and they already announced that they are planning to invest, our technological companies, pharma companies are here, there is only 46 states where European investments are there. If all those companies or part of those companies continue to invest, I'm sure we will reach the target. And on top of that, European Union really, when it commits, it actually follows through.
Okay, well, certainly we're going to be watching for more details to see how this will play out. Two of Europe's largest economies, this is Germany and France, have both responded fairly negatively to this trade deal. France called for tariff retaliation, claiming Europe is going to be politically weakened if it doesn't hit back. France's Minister of European Affairs slammed the U.S. for a, quote, complete disregard of World Trade Organization rules. German Chancellor Merz said the deal will, quote, substantially damage his country's finances. Ambassador, what do you make of these comments?
Well, first of all, we have to think what could be the alternatives. On April the 2nd, President Trump announced that we can have 20% of tariffs. A couple of weeks ago, we have received the letter which actually indicated the tariffs for the EU could reach 30%. Right now, we are for most of our trade, we're at the 15% level, and I have to admit that before the August 1st, we're still paying 27.5% for our car and car parts. So I think that we always have to see what is the alternative. I think that the transatlantic relations are so massive overall. We have, and they deserve actually negotiated solution. This is one element. Another element we have to, as I said, we have to have a predictability. And last but not least, we have to know what would be the other side of the deal if we don't have a deal. And I don't think that any of us, neither business, neither our leadership, would wish to be in this kind of the situation.
Yeah, very good points. Ambassador Jovita Neliupšienė, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. A lot at stake. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.